Hello and welcome. Well, you can see that the prairie behind me is in full swing, and a lot of times I get asked, when am I going to plant grass? The answer is never. These prairie flowers are low maintenance, and they're so much better for ecologically than a monoculture of lawn. I'm very thankful to have them. They attract birds, wild animals, and they look beautiful when they're in bloom. So this is it. You know, it's always going to be a prairie here. The only thing I'll really do is just trim back cedars and locusts when I have to. Alright, so now that I have taken the time to smell the flowers, the big goal for today is first we're going to grout the shower floor, and then I'm going to start putting the siding up in there. I think it's going to start to take shape, so should be a good video today. I hope you like it. Let's get started. Alright, so it's about how I left it. First challenge, I don't have a clean bucket, so we're going to figure something out. Alright, this is going to have to do. I also don't have a mixing paddle, so I'm going to have to mix by hand as well, but I think we'll be alright. Alright, definitely not how I suggest mixing grout. Probably about the worst possible way. No measuring device, terrible container, no mixing paddle. We're probably setting ourselves up for disaster, but we're just gonna send it. Way too loose. Alright, this has been setting up for about 20 minutes. Should be ready to be wiped, so hopefully this comes out alright. Actually, wipe it dry first. I got this mostly wiped. May have to do, you know, one little touch up later. So I'm gonna move the camera and then do the rest of the floor, and then we'll get on to something else. I forgot to set this tile. Oh, oh man. Do we extra hack it and set it in grout? I'll never hear the end of it if I do. Alright, this is mostly wiped down. I might need to go over it one more time. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So we're going to go work on the wood for the walls and the shower. Try and get some of that up. So I got some of these roofing panels here. Alright, now that they've been sitting in the sun all day, I'm ready to use them. Alright, so not too bad of a cut. I wouldn't want to do a whole roof like that. When I did my roof, I borrowed some electric shears from a roofing friend. That they were like Milwaukee brand, and they made quick work of it. So I wanted to give you all an update. I am going to get back to the pond project when I finish the shower. That's probably what I'll do after that wet bath is done. So this is my liner, and you can see the pond holds water, which is good and bad. It's good because I don't have to worry about a leak. The liner will basically just be keeping the sediment separated. But it's bad because it's already teeming with life, and I'm going to have to drain it to install this liner and then line the whole thing with rocks and put the filtration system in. So You know, it's just one of those obstacles. I really didn't think it would hold water because I just loosely threw the dirt there, but it's all clay, so. Alright, we're going to cut the other cut inside. It's kind of hot out there. I need the mixing valve to fall in here because obviously I can't put it on over one of these ribs. It won't be able to make a watertight seal, but these ones are small enough that I can. So we're going to make a cut along one of the sides so it lines up. Alright. That was a pain. Oh, that was a pain. I'm sweating. It's hot in here. That was not pleasant. I should have borrowed those nips again. Just got to see if this trim can cover the ridge. Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay. So that should look pretty good. Alright, so this is this lens out here. This is the J channel, and this is what people use for trim on the sides and the tops. So we're gonna get some of this cut and put it up. So let's see how this fits here. Alright, so that is what I did with that trim. I put the big side out. I'm not entirely sure what side should be out. I scratched up some of that metal pretty good, so I wanted more coverage, and I just folded the corner. It's kind of hard to see, but I just folded that corner over. I can't put this one on yet because there's going to be a strip of trim down here. Not exactly sure where it's going to fall up here, so we're going to hold off on putting that top one there on. Alright, so we're going to start putting this cedar on the walls. And I need some nailers back there, so we're just going to put some studs in there. And I need one in this corner as well, and I need one over here. So we'll throw those guys in real quick. Doesn't fit. Gotta take a little bit more off. Well, it's going in, but it's ripping the stuff. You're supposed to put these in when you build the walls. But I always forget. Man, the frogs in the pond are making a ton of noise. There's a lot of frogs in there now. So I'm going to round over and lightly sand as many of these as I can before it gets dark. I want to thank Dave for these router bits. I know I'm a little bit late getting some of this stuff on the channel, but I appreciate it. All right, it's just about sundown. Well, it's only 7:30, but the sun's about to go behind the trees. And I don't like to use the inverter along with a powerful draw. I've got 4 deep cycle batteries. They're each 260 amp hours. They're flooded lead acid, so I don't have the big, deep nighttime capacity that some of these lithium systems have. So, but it's a nice looking sunset, and I think I'll go in. I was going to go home today, but I'm going to stay over so I can get more done and hopefully be able to show some real progress. Alright, well, I got cleaned up. That was a good shower. It's always a good shower out here. I got the place organized a little bit, and whole house fan worked great. This is the perfect season for it. It gets pretty hot during the day, but it drops down to about 65 when it's dark, and the fan just sucks all the warm air out and really cools this place down quick when the weather conditions are right. So I'm going to go to bed, and we'll get started again in the morning. Hi, if you're liking this, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you. Alright, well, I'm up, I'm caffeinated. I had a clean shirt on, but then I spilled a bunch of coffee on it. One thing I've been meaning to do, and I keep putting off, is to reapply a coat of oil on this countertop. There's no good time to do it, so I'm just going to do it now. Alright, that should do. It was getting a little light. Should add another protection for another 6 months or so. This is a food grade oil, and it's not as strong as some of the really, all the good stuff is, you know, poisonous. This stuff is not, so you gotta reapply it. I'm putting a tar paper backing here. The only reason I'm doing this is because I'm spacing these cedar boards about 1/4 of an inch, and I want to cover up this brown. So felt paper, it's a vapor retarder. It's not impermeable, but I think some people would need to be careful before doing this. If you were in like a really warm climate that was almost always air conditioning, you could run into a situation where you had moisture being trapped around here. So, you know, just do your research before you put something like this in. Now we're going to start on this side and work our way back around, and that way these butt joints will alternate. I think that should look pretty cool, just a little small detail thing that you can throw in there. So I am aligning some of these grains, but not all of them, just because I would have so much waste, and I would also have needed to buy like 16 footers to wrap all the way around here. So I'm using relatively large spacers here. I want the black of the tar paper to show through. I think black looks really good with cedar. That's why I went with a black shower. And I think seeing the black behind the cedar will have a really neat effect. Well, measure ground. Take 2. I cut it to 101.5 instead of 100.5. I do that a lot. keep cutting this to 1 and 1.5 instead of 100.5. Oh my god, I did it again. Keep cutting these 1 inch long. Where to put all my shims? Just spent 10 minutes looking for these shims that there's no rational reason to remove them from this room. Alright, well, it's about 12:45. I stayed an extra day, so I better get home for dinner. So that's going to do it for this trip. Let's go check out what we got done. Alright, so first off, let's talk about the reason I went with cedar. Cedar is a good water-resistant wood. You could also use maybe teak or redwood or maybe even oak. Cedar's really the only choice for me here because it's the only thing that's readily available. I love, like, redwood would be super neat, but I just can't get that. So, alright. So these do weave, and every joint alternates. And then this one here would have been the one to really flow the grain, except I would have need longer pieces. So my only alternative would have to have a joint, you know, somewhere here. And I thought it'd probably be better just to not weave these. And then these ones, these grain patterns flow. To really do this right, you'd almost have to bring a miter saw and do a bevel cut, so you could only lose a tiny bit of material. But yeah, I'm doing all these with my hand circular saw, so you could definitely do a better job with a miter saw. I'm just lazy. I just don't feel like hauling the tools down here. So let's take a look with the shower and everything. You can kind of get a feel for what it's going to look like. I think this is going to be cool. So black. Why did I choose black and also put black behind there, and that's because I think black looks awesome with cedar. So that's kind of the rustic, is just the knotty boards and the metal panel. Originally this was going to be tile. Obviously I did all that tile prep work, and I still may do tile here because this is where the sink is going to be. I could just smooth this out and paint it, but I think I'm going to do some kind of tile. We'll see. Grout came out pretty good. I got a little bit of efflorescence, and that is definitely because I mixed it way too wet. So this should be a cool room. And let's look at the other side. That's one of the things, when you mix your grout too wet, you tend to get some efflorescence, so I don't care too much, but anyway. Well, I want to say thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.